Argentina just made World Cup history for all the wrong reasons. Right now, half the internet is telling you 3 Argentina players got sent off in Sunday's World Cup final. That number is wrong. The real number is smaller and somehow more damning. Only 2 Argentina players actually saw red. But by the time this story is fully told, you're going to understand why 2 was already enough to make history the bad kind on the sport's biggest stage. Let's start with what actually happened because the sequence matters. Spain beat Argentina 1-0 at MetLife Stadium on Sunday, July 19th, with Ferran Torres scoring in extra time. Nobody needed the shootout. Before that goal even happened, Argentina was already down a man. Enzo Fernandez picked up his second yellow card in the 3rd minute of stoppage time for a challenge that sent Spain's Pau Cubarsí flipping through the air. 2 yellow cards equal 1 red. Fernandez was gone, and Argentina played the rest of the game and all of extra time with 10 men. Now here's the correction you actually came for. A lot of coverage today is claiming Christian Romero was the second man sent off. He wasn't. Multiple outlets, ESPN, Yahoo Sports, and Fox Sports among them, confirm Romero was substituted for an apparent injury in the 70th minute. No card, no incident, just a guy whose body gave out. So sit with that for a second because the story everybody's about to repeat today has a factual hole in it right at the center. Here's what actually happened instead, and it's uglier than a mixed up card count. The moment the final whistle blew, Spanish substitutes ran onto the pitch to celebrate, and Argentina defender Nahuel Molina reportedly struck Spain captain Rodri in the stomach as he ran past. Rodri and teammate Eric Garcia confronted Molina. That's when Leandro Paredes rushed into the middle of it. According to reporting, Paredes grabbed Garcia by the throat and shoved him, then turned and wrestled Spain's Gavi to the ground. The referee showed him a second yellow card and a red after the game had already ended. So here's the real count. Not 3 players sent off, 2. Enzo Fernandez during play, Leandro Paredes after it. Here's where it turns into something bigger than either player, though. This wasn't a 2-man story. Reports indicate Molina was also a central figure in the brawl, throwing that punch at Rodri without ever being shown a card himself. And there are reports, still unconfirmed, that Argentina's assistant coach Fabian Ayala was also involved, allegedly striking Spain's Dani Olmo and shoving Garcia during the chaos. If that holds up, this isn't a story about 2 red cards anymore. It's a story about how far the trouble spread through the entire Argentine camp. Now, the number that actually matters, Argentina has 4 of the 7 players ever sent off in a World Cup final. 4 of 7. Read that again. That's more than half of every red card shown in a World Cup final in the sport's entire history, and it belongs to one country. This isn't even the first time it's happened to them either. This is the 2nd time Argentina has had 2 players sent off in a World Cup final. The first time was 1990, also a loss to West Germany. 40 years apart, same result, a World Cup final, 2 Argentina red cards, a loss. Let that sit for a second because the stakes here aren't just about one game. FIFA's disciplinary code states that a player sent off for violent conduct can be suspended for at least 3 matches. As it stands, Paredes and Fernandez are each facing the standard 1-match ban that comes automatically with any red card. But Paredes' conduct, specifically the throat grab, the takedown, is being separately reviewed for that harsher violent conduct threshold. For comparison, when Zinedine Zidane headbutted Marco Materazzi in the 2006 final, he got a 3-match ban, though it was never actually served because he retired right after. When Luis Suarez bit Giorgio Chiellini at the 2014 World Cup, FIFA came back with a 9-match international ban and 4 months out of football entirely. Paredes' outcome sits somewhere on that spectrum, and FIFA hasn't ruled yet. Here's the complication, though, the part that keeps this from being a simple pile-on. Not everyone agrees on how serious this actually is. Some coverage is treating the brawl as a genuine violent conduct case that deserves real punishment. Other coverage points back to that 1990 game and shrugs, arguing that chaotic physical scenes at the end of high-stakes finals aren't as rare as they look from the outside. Both readings are out there right now. Only FIFA's actual ruling will settle which one holds up, and that ruling hasn't come down yet. Through all of it, there's one name conspicuously missing from every part of this story: Lionel Messi. Multiple pundits went out of their way to say so on air. BBC's Joe Hart put it plainly, saying there was one man on the pitch who did have class. He meant Messi, who shook hands with every Spanish player while his teammates were still tangled up in a brawl behind him. Think about that split screen for a second. The most famous player alive, gracious in the biggest loss of his career, and 3 feet away, his own teammates are in a shoving match with the team that just beat them. That's not a coincidence a highlight reel can hide. That's the actual gap between how Messi left that field and how his team did. So where does this actually leave Argentina? 2 confirmed red cards, both carrying automatic 1-match bans for their next competitive fixture, though the exact date of that match isn't locked in yet. A wider FIFA investigation still working through referee reports and video, with Paredes' conduct facing a possible harsher penalty, and Molina and a member of the coaching staff both still under scrutiny with nothing confirmed. And now, a stat that's going to follow this team for years. 4 of the 7 World Cup final red cards in history, one country. Twice in 2 different finals, 4 decades apart, Argentina has walked off the biggest stage in the sport a man or 2 men short. FIFA still has to decide what happens next. Nobody outside that disciplinary committee knows yet, but the number's already written down, and it isn't going anywhere.